All right, so it is Tuesday evening, imagine, and we are all gathered here under the one idea or one principle. So you are incredibly welcome to my office on a Tuesday night. I'm sure there's a million other things that you could have been doing, but you've chosen to be here. So I'm really grateful that you are here, and I promise to make this worthwhile for you. So give me a little idea of where we're at in the world. Let me know where you're at. I know that some of you are in Scotland, some of you are in America. Go and let me know in the chat. And just so that I know that the chat is also working, where you are from and where Switzerland. Beatrice, beautiful. Hello, Switzerland. Now, I might go down the route of asking you what the weather is like. Anybody has ever worked with me before know I have a weather problem. So we're, oh, Helen, good. Wales, Strabane, oh, good. Louisiana, beautiful. London, United States, Colorado, beautiful. Very nice. So we really do have a worldwide audience here. You're all incredibly welcome. Next question is this. Derry, Brenda. Yes. Even more welcomes for Brenda. She's in the same city that I'm in. The next question that I have for you is, and this is probably a bigger question, how easy was it to get here tonight? How easy was it to set your time aside? How easy was it to tell everybody to go away? How easy was it to find a corner of a house or a corner of a room? And how easy has it been to get here? Are you stressed getting here? Have you cultivated some time and energy for yourself? Because most of the people here are therapists, coaches. Not easy, Jen, absolutely not easy. Every time we do this and I ask that question, it's the same response. Is Jen the only one that's not easy? Made some time. Good, Brenda. Good. Yeah, I know. It isn't easy. It isn't easy to get away. Sure, it's not. It's not easy to cultivate the time for you. Okay, so with all of that, I'm delighted that you've made the time for yourself, and I'm delighted that you are here. And with all of that, there is a really important topic to get through. And that topic is in service of you guys. So this is really about you. And this really is a place and a time for you to come into you, for you to come home to you, for you to cultivate a bit of time for you. And what I'm asking you to do, which is probably not very normal for you, is to forget about your clients for a wee while. This information that I'm going to share with you, this journey that I'm going to take you on, is not for your clients tonight. Is that fair? It's genuinely heartfelt in service of you, the person at the other end of the chair in the room. It's for you. It's in service of you, for you. Is that perfect, Jen? Good. I'm glad. Right? So if we can try and leave that professional hat office and really just listen through our own lens, because when we're in this job and we come to these seminars, it's really, really easy to listen through a professional lens and nothing lands. Nothing really gets in. So how does that feel to you as an invite, as your first invite of the evening? To let go of your professional hat. I can see some of you laughing, like, are you out of, Zoe, I see you laughing, like, are you out of your mind? Or I'll try, excuse me, I'll try, but I don't know how far. Yes, it's not easy, Jen. Of course it's not. Everybody else with Jen, or is Jen the only one here? Because I can see a lot of you laughing, or at least smiling. It's not easy. It's not easy to arrive in your own space, in your own time, lock out the noise, lock out whoever's around you, and be here for you, especially. Yes, it is hard, Helen. It's absolutely hard. And it's harder again in the therapist role. It's actually doubly hard. And it's doubly hard to come to a seminar that's about wounding as a therapist. It's doubly hard. But can I tell you that we've had 400 people sign up for this. So that tells you everything you need to know. That you're not on your own, that this is a real issue, and we seldomly carve the time out, and we seldomly have space to do your own work. So that's what I'm asking. Good. Yes, I can feel more protective, Siobhan, to stay within the professional role. Yeah, with presence and self-compassion. Kerry, I love that. That is beautiful. Okay. We have a really, really important topic on our hands tonight. 400 people answered the call to why do we get stuck in pain? Why, despite all of the work? Why, despite all of the hard graft? Why, despite all of the awareness? Why, despite all the regulation, we still are come back into the same patterns, into the same place? And there's a certain amount of bravery in the acceptance of that, I think, that cannot be taken for granted here. So I acknowledge that as a first step. But I think this is the work of our lifetime, to be honest. And I think this is the work of the next, if you like, era of therapeutic practice. What is it to heal? What does it take to actually really heal? How do we stop this stuff wiring and firing? How do we get to that places? And I think that's where we are tonight. I think it's what I am absolutely fully intended and given you. So I'm going to share a load of things. Can I just ask before I share? Has anybody seen the TED Talk? Done any of the good due diligence that they should do? Whenever you come to a seminar like this and check me out and check what the credentials are, is everybody happy enough they've done all of that background work? I'm not going to go into it too much. I just want to make sure that you've done your due diligence and you know what I'm about to share is not full of bluff and bluster, that it is real and it's sourced in something incredibly real. Because what I'm about to share with you is a unique process that is and will be the next wave of therapeutic practice in the field. Of that, I can be assured and say. And it is not easy. It's not an easy conversation and it's not easy information. So I'm going to ask you to take a big deep breath and see where we go. It is the source of the PhD that I have embarked upon. So everything that I'm sharing, we are doing our due diligence in terms of the research for it. So everything that I share, I've seen in thousands of hours of clinical practice at this stage. So not have I only seen it in thousands of hours of clinical practice, we are proving that practice in a PhD. And there is very soon a book that'll be published in that, right? But more than that, I mean, that's the nice to have stuff. You know, the credentials are the nice to have stuff. What's more important than that is that I have a lived experience of trauma and its transformation. So I don't come at this from a clinical perspective. Some of you may hate that. That'll be good. It's supposed to rattle. I don't come at this from a clinical perspective, even though I have the clinical expertise, even though I have all of the years of service, even though I come from that place. This is not a clinical exploration. This is an understanding of what it is to transform trauma, to actually heal and transform trauma. So I hope, good, Miranda, good. Is everybody all right with that? Tell me if you're all right with that. We're still letting people in as we go. Tell me if you're all right with that. So we're going to look at this from a good. Yeah, it's the truth. So we're going to go on a journey. Good, Rennie. Good, Helen. Good, Heidi. We're starting to answer in the chat. I can get a feel for you now. I can feel more connected to you and more communicating with you. Good. I'm delighted you're saying. I'm delighted not that you're saying yes, but I'm delighted that you're answering for me. Good, Tony. Because if that is, and I'll say this out of the park, right? If you have come here and you've segmented a bit of time and that you want to really understand why you're stuck in your own process, why after all of this time you're still circling the wagon, and you want a clinical explanation for it, then and not an experiential explanation and not an experience of somebody's loved understanding of it, then I genuinely, honestly wouldn't waste the rest of me hour and a half. And I don't mean that to be harsh. I want to be able to serve the people that are here as best I can, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. So I'm delighted that you have said yes to that. So with all of that said, I do not want to undermine the incredible work that you're doing in the field. I want to hold that with regard. I want to hold that with grace. I want to hold that because I too am a qualified person-centered therapist. I am exactly like you guys. I have gone through the rigor of training. I know what that training does, and I know what that training teaches. And what I'm about to do is not rebuff, but move into a completely different category. The information I'm about to share is about to move into a different category. It's not a better than category, it's just a different category. And when we move into that category, then we start to understand why we're stuck. So is it possible, whilst I give you the information that I give here, and we talk and we have these experiences and I share my loved experience, is it possible we can also hold regard for the work and the training that we've done? Can I ask that of you? Can I ask you to hold whatever information that you have, whatever you've been trained in, whatever modality, in whatever way, and however you bring that in service of other people, whether coaching or therapy, that this is additional and we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Because I don't want to derail your practice, but I do want to support your own lives. Is that fair enough? So hold on to your own beautiful, gorgeous way of practicing, your own gorgeous way of selves, genuinely. And what we're going to do is add to that. We're not going to strip it away. We're not going to take it away. We're not going to do any of that. Does that feel all right to you? Just let me know. Put a Y in the chat. Let me know if that feels right to you. Good, Heidi. It's really important, this. I have done these seminars and people have given me feedback after it and said, it felt like too much. It felt like the gap was great, and that's not the purpose of this. It's genuinely not. It's to add to your practice down the line, but it's really to add to yourself primarily and firstly. Is that all right? Okay. And that's my heartfelt. Anybody who's ever worked with me and done my training will know that's my heartfelt intention. So the goal is twofold. We have two parts to do, two big pieces of work to do, right? Do you understand why you're stuck? So do you understand why you're regurgitating the same pain? To pinpoint the part of the process that you're in and be able to understand and trust your own process. Move outside trusting your own process and know your process. So why you're stuck and to know where you are in the next part of the process. Does that feel okay? Does that feel right to you? Would you like to know why you're stuck? And would you like to know how to move to the next stage of the process? Would you like a clear picture of what the process is? Yeah? Any person-centered psychotherapists here?
I'm integrated.
Okay. All right. We love Carl Rogers, but we're about to turn his work on its head in terms of not trusting the process, but understanding the process. And we're about to set that map down. So that's what we're doing. We're going to understand why you're stuck, and we're going to be able to identify it, and we're going to understand where you are in the process and identify that. So two very strong things. And then we're going to look at what it looks like to heal. What we're also going to do is a deep dive into that process. And I'm going to share some stories, and maybe some of you will share some of that back. And so at the end of this process, you will have a deep understanding of yourself. And it will be different from when you come in. If I have done my job correctly, if I have shared correctly, if I have given you everything that I intend to give you, which is this unique process, if I give you that and give you that wholeheartedly, then I will have done my job. And I hope that I will have earned the right to offer you to work with me directly. So you will be the only ones that will decide whether I've earned that right. So at the end of this seminar, there'll be about 10 minutes where I will share how you can continue to work with me. If you don't want to stay for that, that's completely fine. I will have given you enough up until that point. Is that fair enough? All right. Okay. All right. So this is where we begin. What is the cost? What is the price? What is the problem? What is the difficulty in doing all of the work? What is the problem? What is the cost? What is the difficulty in attending to your inner world in the way that you have, and trying to do the work of shifting some of the pain within and cycling? I want you to tell me in the chat, What is that pain? What is that like for you? Most of my clinical practice, because of our training groups, are with therapists. So 99% of my clinical practice is working with therapists. So I know what this sounds like. I hear it every day in clinical practice. Imposter, fraud, not good enough. Does any of these sound familiar? Let me know in the chat. There's an importance in naming this out loud. One, that you hear it, and two, that your colleagues in this room also hear it. That the other people watching this replay, of which there's 400 people, will hear themselves. Because when you're a therapist and the onus is on you to help others heal, and you walk into that office or you walk into that call, and you've still got your own work to do, we give ourselves the worst possible shame, kicking, imposter syndrome. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that, Heidi. Never going to know or never going to be good enough. That is the cost of cycling. That is the price of cycling. It's confidence, it's worth, it's value, it's visibility. Imposter syndrome. I do not know enough. I will never know enough. That is the price of cycling in our own pain. It affects us professionally. Never enough. It's never going to be good enough. Guilt. There it is. Can everybody have a look at that chat? Because this is so vital. These are the things that are unsaid. We look at other therapists and other groups and we see them as better and more than, and we see ourselves because we're holding our own pain. And we transfer that on to our professional capacities and abilities. And it's heartbreaking. How does it feel to hear other people say what you believe? It's reassuring, isn't it? You're not on your own. You haven't just cultivated time out for yourself for the goodness of your own, to get away from doing the dishes. This is real, this is honest, this is true, this is how you feel. And it's getting in the way of your practice and getting in the way of your professional capacity. And you're wounding yourself because you're caught in the same cycles. Yes, Zoe, I love that. It becomes part of your identity and you don't know any different. You just know yourself not to be good enough. You're dealing with your own pain, you're trying to help other people in pain, and there's this constant question mark that sits over you. And that is fundamentally what I want to do tonight. The fear of causing harm. If I can't meet the needs of the client and knowing that this could cause a response in me. Amen, Siobhan. And look at everybody nodding. Your honesty. Yes, do you see that? Yes, Miranda, this is the truth. Look. Yeah, this is the truth. This is absolutely the truth of what we carry. It's very different for us in our profession, coaches, helping professionals, whatever that helping role is, right? Therapists, coaches. It's very different from us than it is for other professions because there's an inbuilt expectation that you have done your own work. There's an inbuilt expectation that you are healed. There's an inbuilt expectation from us, that you've reached some miraculous moment, and therefore that's what makes you good enough as a therapist. There's this inbuilt expectation that we carry the weight of, and that's what I want to try and put some distance into here. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. And it's that expectation that I want to tell you something. I will never, ever forget. It was 2013, and I had been accepted into a postgraduate training program. So this was after the original degree. I was accepted into a postgraduate training program 2013. And I remember going to that. It was a BACP. Anybody that's from England will know what a BACP course is, right? So it was a BACP accredited postgraduate 4-year master's level in psychotherapeutic practice, person-centered solely. I am standing in one of the most prestigious universities in Ireland, having been accepted. That in of itself is a whole surprise to somebody like me. And I remember thinking, because I kept everything a secret on me, I remember thinking, I will do this qualification, I'll get my license, I'll get my hours, but I'll be in this, and this university program, I feel it right in my bones when I say it, this university program will explain everything that I have lived. It'll explain the entire process. And I'll have words for what happened to me. This will surely, if it's the top of the pops and it's all great, then it'll surely explain everything that I have come through. It'll explain the trauma, it'll explain the transformation, it'll explain the becoming, it'll explain it all. And I can rest in that knowing, I can be at ease. Because up until then, I was filled with keeping what happened to me a secret. And I stood in that university full of expectation, the way you would have been full of expectation when you started your training. Full of expectation for the knowledge that had happened to me would come alive, and I would be able to at least share what I needed to share in those rooms in that university. And I was devastated. Deeply, deeply disappointed, because my experience of the transformation of trauma and what was being taught were two completely different things. They weren't even close. And when I would raise that concern in the room, which I didn't often, when I would raise that with some of the tutors, I was shot down. I was belittled. And I was told that I didn't really know what I was talking about. But I was too frightened at that stage to explain what had happened. Because what had happened in the 10 years previous was that the lived totality of all of the primary pain, there's your first word, primary pain. All of the primary pain that I had experienced as a child in trauma had burst in my body. Had come through my body in a way that I was not able to manage it, not able to control it, not able to bypass it, not able to regulate it. And in that moment of all of that pain, I had a decision to make, which was do or die. Do I turn into this pain or do I die? And with a newborn child in my hands, literally, I had no choice but to turn into it. And that's what created the transformation. I didn't bypass it. I didn't regulate it. I didn't intellectualize it. I wasn't in the periphery of the pain, which is a category of pain. I wasn't in the periphery. I was wholeheartedly in this primary pain. And Rumi says the only way out is through, and by God is he right. And so I had this lived experience of pain, deep trauma, lots of ACEs. And I had this lived experience of its transformation. And I knew it in my heart. I was experiencing it in my body. And there was part of the reason that I was there in that university was because I was in the becoming stages. I had moved through the trauma. I had moved through the pain. I had gone under the darkness of the primary pain. And I was transforming. I was beginning to stand in my essence. I was beginning to stand in the person that I was born in this world to be. That was the only reason I was in that university. It was the only reason I was there. And the devastation of what is being taught and what is true for transformational healing, now not only in me, now that we see in all of these thousands of clinical hours and all of the PhD research, is night and day. And then what happens? What happens is, because we've all been through training, there's an expectation. that we carry the weight of, that we carry the load of. And I want to take that expectation off your shoulders a wee minute. Because most of the therapeutic practices, while they're helpful, are not designed to get your root cause. It's a massive statement. I'm going to show you now in a minute why I believe that. I'm going to back this up. But most of the therapeutic practices that we're involved in is not designed for the category of pain that we need to work with in order to dissolve. How does that feel to you? I'm going to repeat it. And I'm going to turn this heater off before I heat. Most of the therapeutic practices that we have to our disposal are not designed to reach primary pain. And therefore, what happens is we end up carrying wounds for years, cycling and circling. How does that feel to you? I'm asking you to believe a principle that I need to prove, which I'm going to prove now. But I want to ask how you're feeling about that. Tell me what you're feeling. It's true. It is true, Miranda. We do know this from our work. We just don't know what to do about it. You've experienced it. 100%. Most of us have. That's the truth. Tell me what else you are thinking, please. Does that feel true to your own experience? Therefore, right? Therefore, the fact that you're trapped, stuck, circling, cycling the same pain is not a fault of yours. It's not. We lay it down. We lay the shame of it, the guilt of it, we lay it down. It's not your fault. It's a system flaw. We can get so far with the therapeutic practices that we have, so far, and then the rest remains intact. Can we leave that down? That's my question. Okay. We've all gone quiet. Can I just check we're all right? We all right? Just give me a, yeah? Okay. All right. So now would we like to examine how that is true? And what is it that is true? And so that you can recognize the first principle is why am I stuck here? Everybody okay with that? I share my screen and we're going to move. Okay. So has everybody heard me? Courage to connect with the heart's truth, Carrie. Did everybody hear me say the word primary pain? Because that's where we begin tonight. Did everybody hear that loud and clear? Primary pain. Okay. Primary pain is really, really important because it's a different category of pain that we're looking for. Yes, primary pain. Yes. Yes. So we're going to talk a wee bit. Yes. Why are we stuck and how do we get out of it? Beautiful. Here we go. Okay. So everybody heard me say the word primary. Primary pain is a category of pain. Now, what does that mean? In our fields, pain is something mostly to be regulated, to be managed, to be moved through, to be integrated. These are all of the words that we've been taught. But primary pain is not a pain that should be managed. It's a pain that can be transformed. What is primary pain? Ever heard Gabor Mate say, trauma is not what happened to us, it's what happened within us. Yeah? Primary pain is what happens within us. So primary pain is the lived experience of what happened within us. It's a multifaceted, multi-layered, internalized experience. It's experienced as a totality of somatic, emotional, nervous system activation, cognitive, and physical pain. It is not one or the other. It's also experienced, you've seen the word cognitive. Do you see the difference here? Experienced as a total of somatic, emotional, and cognitive pain. It is not mind, it is not body, it is not body, it is not mind, it is all. It is the entirety of the human condition as it pertains to the lived experience of that primary pain. Everybody with me? Okay, so what does it look like? Oh, we're talking about it all, Lisa. Physical and emotional and somatic and cognitive. It is the totality of primary pain, all of it. Okay, what does that look like? Primary pain has a pattern. Okay, Zoe, thank you very much. You're leaning forward, help me there, I could see. Primary pain has a pattern. We're just working in this central piece here. These are words. This is cognition. But with this cognition, primary pain, undeserving, unlovable, hyperarousal, nothingness, no point in life, despair. Alongside this depth of detail, we will have somatics, physical pain. We will have emotions. We will have defense mechanisms. We will have, you can see nervous system activation in there. So primary pain is the central part that happens, the thing that happens inside the experience that happens to us. And primary pain, if we can find it and work with it, when resolved, cures all problems. Now, we're going to come back to this, right? Problem with primary pain, okay, here we are. Resolving primary pain is the only way to collapse trauma patterns permanently. But primary pain is stored within a set of hierarchical systems that block access and therefore healing, which is why, for very many of us, we have never worked with it. If we have never worked with primary pain, it's going to continue to come back. At this point, before we dig a wee bit deeper, we're going to breathe here and tell me how you're thinking and feeling. If primary pain is at the center, the nucleus of the experience. Good, Miranda. It's a relief. I'm delighted. If it's at the center of the experience, you're not crazy, Miranda. There's not one bit of you crazy. I can tell you that. Wiser than the rest of us, I can promise you. Right? Primary pain is at the center of the experience. It is a totality of an experience. It is neither body nor mind. It is a totality of it. That primary pain, it's just blocked by the layers. Absolutely. It's blocked by the layers. You need to understand what layer you're working on. Most of us have never worked with primary pain because you know why? Because when primary pain births, what do? We medicate it, we institutionalize it, we DSM it. Diagnostic Service Manual for anybody outside my world. We institutionalize it, we medicalize it, we shame it, we radicalize it. That day that I tell you that I birthed this stuff, I birthed all the primary pain in the one go. I birthed the son and I birthed the primary pain in the same place. And there was no putting it back in. There was no putting it back. There was no moving. I had to move forward with it. This stuff's excruciating. This stuff is not for the faint-hearted. And it is, therefore, controlled by a hierarchical system that none of us normally get to. And that the therapeutic world has no language for. Believe me, I'm doing the PhD and I'm trying to find the research, and it's very, very fine. They speak to a part of it, but the research is not fully there that speaks to the totality of it. Hence why I'm allowed to do a PhD in the field. Does that make sense to you? Tell me what everybody else is thinking. Thank you, Miranda. Just give me a why if it makes sense. You don't have to get into deep and meaningfuls, but are we beginning to understand? Yes, Heidi. Good. Thank you. Thank you for your interactions. It means the world to me and to everybody else watching. So what we might be starting to understand is that we've experienced primary pain, but we've never got to the heart of it. And we've never got to the heart of it because I want you to watch this. primary pain's job, your whole system, we'll talk about that in a minute now, your entire system, your personality structure, your nervous system, believe it or not, your defense mechanisms, your attachment styles, your human needs are all designed to take care of this primary pain, to cover it up, to soothe it over, to protect it. Something that's so painful to us, your entire system is designed to cover it. Not to excavate it, not to show it, none of that. Your entire system is designed to cover it up. So if you love variety, if you're a people person and you please and you give and you fawn and you go after success and you go after growth or you sublimate or whatever it looks like for your own system, everybody's unique, this word I want you to think phenomenological, which means unique. This whole thing, this whole map for everybody's so unique. I've never seen the one map ever in my clinical practice ever. Now its job is to cover it. I'll give you a wee sneak preview of what that looks like. So here we have primary pain, your attachment style, your personality style, your nervous system activation, your defense mechanisms, your human needs, and your essence will all control where this primary pain is seen. And it'll produce ways of being. So do you see if your personality style is people orientated, then you will produce relational issues. Your nervous system activation is hyperarousal, you will produce burnout. If your defense mechanism is sublimation, then you will produce perfectionism or driving too hard, or does everybody get what I'm showing them? So that gives us an understanding for this grey area. Primary pain is not seen. All that we see is the drive away from it. Now, what is the problem in the drive away from it? So that was products that we did, right? Products are the way your unique psychology and personality profile are organized around the primary pain. Is any of this? You can get stuck in that, Miranda. Most people get stuck in that. Now, I want you to look at the way that we think about therapy, right? How much can we get stuck here? Trying to fix pleasing, trying to fix giving, trying to fix fawning, trying to fix success, trying to fix growth. They're not the problems. They are the solution to the problem. But we see these as problems. Is everybody with me? So these are the products, right? Everybody with me? Have I lost anybody? Do I need to slow down? Tell me how you're thinking. You're with me, Tony. Does that mean yes? Right. Okay. Good. Right? Good. Okay, Beatrice. Thank you. All right. How's the accent? Is the accent holding up? Brenda, don't you answer that. Is my accent all right for anybody that's outside? Because when I can get funny, I can talk. It's fun, Beatrice. Good. Because I can go really fast. Okay, good. Everybody understands me. All right. Okay, good, Heidi. I don't want to confuse you with my accent, because I know when I get passionate, I can start talking really fast. Okay, products of primary pain. Your unique psychology is now going to do its best job of protecting this. When your unique psychology does its best job, guess what happens? It produces other pain. This is adaptation pain. This is not root cause pain. There's our categories. All right, so wait, thank you. There we go. Does everybody understand why I said about categories at the beginning? If we're working in the wrong categories therapeutically, we are going to be working for a lifetime. And what's the drawback on working for a lifetime? Feeling not good enough, feeling useless, feeling like an imposter, feeling exhausted, feeling burnt out. The job that you love with all your life, which is helping people, feeling like you can't do it anymore. Getting to a certain stage in your therapeutic journey or your therapeutic career and wanting an exit route because you can't do it anymore. I'm going to get you to answer me, right? If you take any of this secondary pain to therapy, what happens? If you take imposter syndrome to therapy, if you brought imposter syndrome to me, I wouldn't even waste an hour of your time on it. Because I would see it as secondary and I'd know something else is living under it. So when you bring burnout and depression and stuckness to therapeutic practice, what happens for you? Tell me in the chat what happens. If you don't mind, I'll just breathe a wee bit and let everybody breathe. What happens? You take that green ring to therapy. Tell me where you are. Put on the meds. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. If you're somebody who's willing to work with it, stuck, Miranda, absolutely. Stuck. Because you're going to be playing whack-a-mole. You're going to be treating a category of pain that's not primary. And what you're going to do is that you're going to move that stuckness off the green ring and you're going to bring something back to it, something new. Whack-a-mole. You are going to play whack-a-mole. Yep. And what does whack-a-mole do? Who does whack-a-mole hurt? You. Destroys your confidence in yourself, confidence in your practice, confidence in your ability to heal. And your ability to heal is fully intact, I can tell you that. Absolutely fully intact. So the price and the cost of staying here in secondary pain or any of those products is exhaustion. And everything that you've said today, right? Everything that you've said to me, everything you've called out, like guilt and not enough and imposter syndrome, and this is the result of working in the wrong category of pain. So we have to ask ourselves, you're managing symptoms only, Siobhan, absolutely. We have to ask ourselves, where are we? This is what I wanted you to think about, right? Why am I stuck? I might be stuck because I'm not working in primary. Is that true for all of you here? Because if that's true, put a yes in the chat for me. Are you stuck because you're not working in primary? Siobhan, don't you answer that because I know you're not. You're not allowed to answer that. Yes. Look at the yeses. Look at the yeses. Yes. And I have another question for you. Is the fact that you're stuck your fault? It will be nice to see what the threads is because it's a real life issue and fidelity is a real life issue. But what is it creating in you? What is it because it's real and it's true and that has its own category of pain and reality? It's a bit like grief, but is it connected to something else? Does it have its thread in primary? That's what we would want to check. Great question. Okay. And can you answer that last question? Is the fact that you're stuck in primary your fault? Give me a Y or give me an N. Is it your fault that you're stuck in primary? Please tell me. No, it is absolutely not. Now, I love this now. Look at all the N's. No, you're stuck in primary, but it's not your fault. We shake some of that energy off that. That's good to hear. I know, Miranda, that's why you're here. I know it's not your fault. Now, what you choose to do about it is up to you, but it is absolutely not your fault at this present moment in time. You're not defective. I can promise you, Miranda, you are not defective, my love. And that is not, I am being genuine in that. You have to understand the many people that I see And the many people inside our membership and the many people that I work with at a group level that believe the same until they get in and they understand this is not the truth. I promise you. I absolutely promise you. So, and I really appreciate your honesty, because your honesty is helping everybody else in this group. And your absolute credit to yourself. It's incredible. Okay. All right. So there is a hierarchy of pain, a categorizing of emotional and psychological pain that we must understand where we're working. Does that make sense to you? And I hope by now, which I think I have done by asking you that question, I hope that you can spot that hierarchy. Good. I really do. There's a hierarchy of pain. Let me pull this down so you can see it. There's a hierarchy of pain, the categorizing of emotional and psychological pain. And you can work on that in order of importance for maximum effect. And my first intention was to show you why you're stuck. I hope we've arrived there. Now, let us breathe a bit and come back to center. All right. Have we any, the red my cheeks are. Oh, I know, Zoe, that's how you know that's how you know the passion's coming. That's how you know the truth's coming, them cheeks. So, have we any questions? Any questions at this point before we move on to the second point in our presentation? No? All right, everybody ready to move on? Let me see a wee Y in the chat if you're ready to move to the next place. Okay. There's an incredible TED Talk by a woman who was an educator in America. I can't even remember her name. And she gave an incredible TED Talk about being the champion of children. If any of you have ever seen it, and if you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's incredible. And there's a famous line in the TED Talk, and she says, "So what? Now what?" And I love it. So what? So what? You're stuck in primary pain. Now what? No one doesn't change anything. At least it gives us a pin on the map to know. Hopefully we've unshamed some of that. Hopefully we understand why we're stuck. At least it gives us a pin on the map. But now what? And that's where we're entering. Now what? Okay. For all, yes, Leona, thank you. Rita Pearson, she's dead now, God bless her, but what a TED Talk, everybody. Yes, every kid needs a champion. Rita Pearson, thank you. Gorgeous TED Talk. So, in Rita Pearson's honor, so what, now what? Let's move. She's a wonderful woman and a wonderful champion of children. So, I'm going to be a champion of youth. Okay, I'm going to be a champion of the human condition. Let's go. Any of my person-centered psychotherapists, especially my straight-laced person-centered psychotherapists, are now about to have a heart attack. So brace. Do you remember that wee thing I said to you at the beginning? We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're just changing the categories. Brace, brace, brace. Carl Rogers, who I was an incredible student of for 4 years, said we must trust the process. I think that there's an addition to that now, and I think we must understand the process. We must know where we are in the process. If we are to help ourselves, we are not aimlessly and should not be aimlessly searching on forever and ever and ever, waiting for the triggers, waiting for the things to happen so that we can be in process. We must, in this new way of doing therapeutic practice, we must understand the process. So if you'll allow me to share what I believe is the fundamental process, and we can start to ask questions of that process. How does that feel to you? Remember that we're sharing the process in relation to primary pain. So we take the primary pain and we ask of the process, where am I with this in relation to primary pain? Everybody okay? So let me share. Okay. So this is where the squiggly bit, right? Squiggly bit down here is where we often start. And so if we know that it's primary pain is the problem, right? This might be hard to see, so let me go here. Okay, this might be better to see. We just don't trust the process. We learn the process that heals. Is that better? Is that a better graphic? First of all, you cannot access primary pain willy-nilly. Primary pain has to be an embodied process, or you will stay stuck. Could you show the, yes, Tony, of course I can show the previous graphic. Was that a better graphic for you? The swirly one, a better one? Yeah. Where was it? Oh, there it is there. Okay. So think about if you've got a pen and a bit of paper in front of you, right? I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to answer them. And if you can draw out prep, find, heal, become on a page, right? If you can draw this map out on a page, I will ask some questions of you and you will answer those questions and we will know where you are on this map, which means now that you're building a process and understanding your process. Yeah? Everybody with me? So the squiggly bit down here might be the beginning of that process. Preparation is where we move next. And if you can, let me know the graphic, or let me know the question, the answers, yes or no on the chat. So the first question is, if we're in relation to primary pain, are you embodied to it totally? What does that mean? It means, can you feel it? Can you experience it in your body? Can you access it without dysregulation? Can you access it? Can it come through you without turmoil and without dysfunction? And what I mean by dysfunction is taking you out of your capacities to be in the world. Can you work with your primary pain in a way that is regulating, controlling, that allows you to work with it in a way that would let you move towards finding it? Can you do that? Give me a Y or an N in the chat. No, Beatrice. Okay. Okay. Not yet. Brilliant. Absolutely not yet. That's exactly. No. Yes, Amy. Brilliant. Brilliant. So let me explain. Preparation is an incredibly important process. Okay? Preparation is about embodiment. It's about safe embodiment. It's about a process, and I don't want to throw too much language at you. I don't want to throw too much processes at you or interventions at you. But preparation is fundamentally where you can bring primary pain into your system, bring it into your awareness, bring it through your body, allow it to process in you and come out to equilibrium. That's all preparation will allow you to do. It does not dissolve the primary pain. And this is where somatic work can take you so far, but not take you over into the fine category. So those of you that have answered no, that's the stage in the process you're in. You're in the preparation stage, which is often about embodiment, which is often about how to be able to self-regulate, how to be able to attune to your inner world, how to be able to gather the data in your inner world, because all the primary pain's in that body, be able to work with it, be able to sit with it, and have enough capacity to get on with your normal life, but bring it to your body. If the answer to that is no, that's exactly the stage of the process you're in. Who's in prep? Put a P in the chat for me if you're in preparation. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love all the P's. This is where everybody starts. This is brilliant, 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 brilliant. Now, preparation is important, because if you're in preparation practically and you're looking to heal, do you see how many steps up heal is? And do you see how difficult it is to heal without the preparation? You can't be in heal if you haven't got the preparation done. Does that make sense to you? And you see the tension between the two places is what ruins your confidence in yourself. The tension between those two places. I want to heal. I want to be away. I don't want to be here. I want to find what it is. I want to heal it. And I want to move into becoming, is where all the tension, and you lose all your confidence. And a lot of people will do become work, right? What does become work mean? They'll try and force a way of being. Joe Dispenza's work is become work. They'll try and force a way of being that's still attached to all the pain. Has anybody ever seen that in themselves? Trying to force a new way of being while the pain is still attached, even though you don't know what the pain is. Give me an Y in the chat if that is true, or a nod in the camera so I can see. It's the override, Miranda. Horrific. Yes, yes, Mary. Terrible, absolutely terrible. And that destroys your confidence. Yeah. If you are in preparation, you're in preparation. You're much better to be in preparation and let go of everything else so that you can do the due diligent work of preparation, because you'll move through the process much quicker if you follow the process, rather than trying to not understand where you are in the process and try to become something that the pain is attached to. It's a nightmare. Okay. So are we happy enough with preparation? Preparation is about regulation. It's about not that type of regulation, right? It's about embodiment. It's about being able to be within. We call it unwrapping in the model, right? It's about being able to self-regulate, self-soothe. There's so much good stuff in preparation that gets you ready for working in primary pain, which is what FIND is. So some of you have said yes to preparation. Now you're ready for the deep stuff, right? I'm going to hold that. So this is so good. All right. You attach to something outside of yourself and get hurt there too. Absolutely, Miranda. 100%. You'll do whatever it takes. Yeah. So if you're in FIND, the detail of FIND is specificity. I'm going to use another word. I don't want to bombard you with words. But this is what we talk about as phenomenological specificity. What the hell does that mean? It means that, right, which we use this, where's our logo? See this logo here? Leo, not kill me for moving this. See this logo here? See this thumbprint? The reason we use a thumbprint in our logo is because primary pain is phenomenological in nature. What does that mean? It means that there's no two primary pain patterns the same. And there's no theory in the world that can pinpoint or find what your primary pain is, because it's so specific. It can only be found through your body, which is what the preparation is. Who is in the FIND category? Who is in the specificity category? Tell me, give me an S in the chat if you're in the specificity, if you're in FIND. Heal and become are a natural process of FIND. Isn't that right, Siobhan Campbell? They organically appear. Yes. Specificity, Myra. Brilliant. So you're there. Perfect. We don't trust the process, we understand the process. You need the specificity before you can heal. And it needs to be the specificity in you. These wounding, these primary pains are born in your body, of you, in you, and you're the only one that can, well, with the help of a good therapist, work there. Good, Amy, you're in specificity. Good. Now we're starting to understand the process that we're in. Beautiful. Anybody trying to force becoming before they've done the preparation and find work, it's torture with a capital T. And it'll ruin your confidence. So this is brilliant, right? I'm stuck because I'm not working in primary pain. I've been working in the different categories. And I understand the process because now I know that I just am not aimlessly running around. There is a process in preparation and there's a process in find. And both of those two things together will lead to heal and become. But I can't reach heal and I can't reach become until those bottom two runs are achieved. Is everybody happy with that? This is a bottom-up approach. Is everybody happy with that? Okay, brilliant. Last question, right? Can you forgive yourself for trying to reach something that you hadn't, the groundwork wasn't in? Can you forgive yourself for pushing yourself to heal something that you didn't actually understand or that you hadn't done the proper preparation to find? Can you be compassionate and kind and gentle to yourself for that process? Beautiful. It's exactly what I wanted, please. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, good. And how does that feel to you? How does that feel in your body to you? How does that compassion, how does that kindness, how does that feel? I know that compassion and kindness is not a healing process. It's a peripheral process, it's a category. Good, it feels better. But it's the start of something, it's preparation, right? Has it healed the primary pain? No, of course it hasn't. We've just understood the process of healing the primary pain. Compassion and kindness won't do that, but it'll certainly help support it. Yeah? Everybody okay? So I want to take you forward a wee bit, right? I want to take you into become. What does becoming look like? Tell me what you think becoming looks like. If you're free from the primary pain, if you've done the preparation work and you're free from primary pain, you found it, you're free from it, you've healed it. What does it look like? What does life look like for you? Tell me. The sadness is gone. Okay. Tell me what it looks like. So tell me what has gone. Tell me in the chat what has gone. For me, it was the nothingness was gone, the deep pain of nothingness, the terror of what the world could give, and the shame. Yeah. No problem at all. Stephanie, do not interact. Dear Lord, you drive and keep yourself safe. Yeah. Peaceful. Anguish is gone. Right. Okay. That's the first stage of becoming. Feel at ease, not stuck. Right? That's the first stage of becoming. The pain has gone is the first stage of becoming. But can I tell you, it's not the only stage. Because once the pain has gone, the real self, not the new self, not the best self, right, starts to fill in. The essence of you. The essence of you. The essence of who you were supposed to be. The seed of the soul that was born into this world never got thwarted, guys. That remains intact, waiting, ready. The pain is gone, and now the energy in the body can allow for a becoming. That's why we call it becoming. So where, like for example, Tony, where there's ease, in that ease, what is allowed to grow? Is it freedom? Is it openness? Where the anguish is gone and it's clear to the system, what is allowed to grow? Now we're moving, openness. Now we're moving. That is the price of doing this work. Not the price, that's the prize. That's the prize of doing this work. Openness. For me, what happened for me was when that work was done and I went to that university and I realized, sweet Lord Almighty, they do not know how to heal. Then the becoming in me was, well, you're going to have to take your Irish backside, this humble Irish person that I was and had learned to be growing up where I grew up, and not to put your head above the parapet and not to say too much and not to get noticed. And I had to unbecome that. I could have never become that without the pain being away. There would have been not enough energy in my system for it. And there has been a continuous becoming that is the process that emerges. Unconditional self-acceptance. Excuse me. Self-loving. I love it, Zoe. Self-trust. What energy arises in self-trust? What decisions do we make? What things do we do? We're open. When we have no doubt, then we have surety. When surety arises, what happens? Where do we go? What do we do with life? So beautiful. So becoming is not the absence of the pain. Does that make sense to you? That's what makes this work worthwhile. Is this work easy? Absolutely not. Not on your life is it easy. But the prize of it is the freedom of the essence. And that is not a one and done switch off, switch on process. It's the more pain it's gone, the more the essence works. Does that make sense to you? How does that feel to you? Does it feel good to you? Yes. Yeah. Becoming is more about the truth of who you are that is allowed to be in the release of the pain. And that's why if we force becoming before the undoing, we get into all sorts of trouble. Oh, Zoe, good. Self-trust. I haven't thought of that, but it sums it up perfectly. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. And I love the songs just landed beautifully. Fantastic. All right. Okay. There's something else that happens. And it's pretty profound. I've seen it in the people that I've worked with. I continue to see it. And there's something else that happens. Is that the therapist that does this type of work becomes in therapy. What does that mean? It means that they're not looking for strategy. It means they're not looking for modalities. It means that they're not looking, that they have a way of being. And they trust that way of being, and they trust the process, and they can be with the client phenomenologically. And it is organic and free flowing. And yes, they can be in the moment, Helen, 100%. Because they have enough space in their own bodies from all of the undoing that they can be with another, but they can learn to trust themselves more. And so there's two types of becomings for therapists in this work, the becoming of the self and the becoming of the therapist. And they're two different things, but they help each other. There is a process that opens up. Love it, Siobhan. I'll read this out. All the layers of management, avoidance, protection, projection dissolve. The emotions that were held with the cognitive distortions, the nervous system activation, the physical impact of it all are understood within and are seen. And beyond all of these, the uncovering of the self as it was, arise And as it was hidden from self, a re-emergence and a renewal of the self, as always, but has been hidden for so long. It's beautiful. That's what becoming looks like. Just so we're clear, Siobhan has done this work, and she's also one of our therapists. She's not a plant, she comes along dailies for CPD. So that's a beautiful, I really appreciate your energy in that, Siobhan. It's gorgeous. That's exactly what happens. It's exactly what happens. So becoming is a product of the healing. You cannot force becoming. If you try to force becoming, you will move back. Okay. All right. Okay, here we are. All right. Let us clear the space. We are finished the training aspect of this. I hope that my intention has been reached. I hope that I have done what I said that I was going to do. I hope that you feel that. I hope that I have answered the 2 points. I hope that you feel you understand the reason that you're stuck. And I hope that you've unshamed that. And I hope you understand where you are in the process. That was my heartfelt intention in just this hour and a bit that we had together. The training proportion is finished. I want to honour the weight of it. It's not easy. We didn't really get into the minutiae. Good, Brenda. I'm so delighted. Good. We are finished. For those of you that have come for the training and are satisfied by the training and don't want to learn how to work with me, you are free to leave, my gorgeous people. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your commitment. And thank you for your attention at this. Good, good, good. Confusion's not a bad thing either. For those of you that want to understand how we move forward, how you might work with me, then can I explain a wee bit about how we might do that? The first thing is to say is that I'm going to introduce you to a group program that I run myself, that I am there for. And this group program is designed to do everything that we've done today. So we call this group program the Healing Experience. And this group program is all of that I've given you tonight in action. How does that work? I'm sure you're thinking. It's designed to help you actually get the primary pain. I hold your hand, I walk you through it, I help you out. We do it in group with other therapists. It is alive and gorgeous and beautiful, and I want to help you find that primary pain. I want to help you work with it, and I want to help you out of that hope, despair, hurt, despair cycle that so many of us is in. Not just to alleviate it tonight in a feeling and feel better, but to offer a real remedy there. And so how do we do that? I have an entire year's program, workshop by workshop, that I take you through. And that workshop material is designed to bring you across that path, to bring you into preparation, to bring you into heal, bring you into find, bring you into heal, and bring you into become. The workshops are monthly. We do one workshop and we do one live integration. What does that mean? It means live work with me. So I give you a workshop that it pertains to this material, it moves you along the process, and then I make sure you integrate it. So it's not a listening shop. It's not pre-recorded material that you sit down and listen to and then you apply to yourself. That's not what this is. It's a live workshop with me every month and live coaching and live integration within the confines of a group setting with other therapists. That's what makes it incredibly safe. So we do all of that prep work, we do all of that find work, we do all of that healing work. And what we have inside this membership is something unique that no other membership has. not just the material itself, but we have a body of therapists trained in this method who are ready when you're ready for deeper one-to-one work. And you get access to those therapists inside this group. So whilst this is group work, and group work is important, group work can move you on in a process quicker than sometimes the one-to-one. And then we have the capturing of the one-to-one. Again, it's this process, it's prep, and all of the details of prep. So it's all the embodiment work, it's all the safe embodiment work, it's all the SAPS work, it's all of that. It's all the prep work held beautifully, all the find work in live seminars with me coaching you. And it's monthly and it lasts for a year. And if that interests you, then you'll let me share our, what do we see? So there it is. Here it is here. Prep, find, heal, and become. It's all the foundation of preparation, all the hierarchy of pain, preparation for the depth, safe embodiment, nervous system preparation work. We do all the relational patterns work and a suite of prep workshops. And this moves us here. When you're ready for your heal work, we do discounted access for in-course specialists, healing workshops, healing demo accesses. We do live demo calls, we do live coaching calls, so you can see me working, and if you're stuck at a particular thing, I will help you. We have libraries of resources, which I'm not really keen to sell because I don't want you locked inside reading or learning or intellectualizing. I would rather that you paid attention to the live calls and the working through, and we have a load of becoming stuff. And all of this is £59 a month, billed monthly. There's a yearly fee that you can pay that's discounted. You can toggle here if you want to, and it takes it down to £49. So £59 a month, billed monthly, and this is the detail of everything that you get. I don't like reading everything that you get because I think by now you'll know if you want to work with me. You'll know if you want to be part of that experience. I would love to work with you at a deeper level in this way. This is all the practicals and the pragmatics of it and all the details and all the analytical side of it. For some of you may like to know that. It's available in a link. Leon, if you throw the link to that up in the chat and people can have a look at it, that'd be great. Just to recap, it's 2 live monthly healing, it's structured framework, it's live integration sessions and processing tools, it's a community of therapists. Why does that matter? The community of therapists matters because the quality of the group is going to be very high. It means that you're going to get a lot of people know how to hold space for other people. And you don't get that tension that is in normal groups, which is why this is only for therapists and is very important. Therapists, coaches, helping professionals. So you get all of this. It's a continuous amount of stuff. Library of resources, access to in-course specialists. We have literally thrown the kitchen sink at it in order to help you heal. It's humongous. The price of it, I have been criticized for, because people have said that it doesn't feel like it represents it. It looks like it's just a membership that you will go and tick and information, but it's not. We wanted to keep it a lovely, healthy price so that people would take their journey for the year. They would take their time, they would take their energy, and they would use it for the year. So £59 is what we have tried to do to make it as accessible as possible for everybody, and that's just the honest to God truth. So with all of that said, I want to help you continue this process. I hope I've earned the right to offer this to you. I hope you feel that the congruent nature of this. I'd like to invite you into my world so I can support you here. And with that, I think we are complete in the process, but if anybody has any questions. Yes, Brenda, thanks so much. So the link will go out with an email, and Leona will have the link in the email. Yeah, so Leona will have the link in the email, and what you get an email from Leona, and you will see that link. We open and close this, so I think, I don't know, Leona, is there 48 hours in it? So from the time that you watch this, you've 48-hour window to purchase at that price. And thank you. You get 2 months free if you take the year's process. Yes, there's a 48-hour window. See, I'm not good at the finite details. Does anybody else any questions? Are we complete at this moment, or do you feel you have any questions? No questions. All right. Okay, my dears, I hope that I have served you well. I thank you for your presence and your grace this evening, and I hope that I can serve you even better inside our beautiful group program. So much love. See you all soon. Thank you so much. Thanks, Brenda. Thank you all so much. Take care, and good luck. Good, Amy. Thank you. I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted for you. Delighted it's helpful. I will see you all soon. God bless. Take care. See you later. Bye. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Bye bye. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye to the other Zoe too. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye.